Hello and welcome in. I am the Eddie McCabe, and you are watching the WandaVision review here on the channel. Basically, WandaVision was released last week, and it kicked off Phase 4 of the MCU. Now, I don't know about you, but I am definitely jonesing for some more MCU. Due to COVID, there was a little bit of a shakeup in terms of the lineup. This was supposed to be the second or third piece in Phase 4, coming on to Disney Plus after Black Widow and I believe Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But like I said, due to COVID, they had to jumble everything up, and this is the kickoff to Phase 4. The last time we saw the MCU was in Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, some post-credit scenes were very interesting, and it really leads very well into everything that's kind of happened so far in WandaVision. I'm going to try and stay spoiler-free for the first part of this, just so I can give you my thoughts on the series as a whole so far, as well as episodes 1 and 2, but then we'll wrap up with some more spoiler talk, but I'll let you know when that happens. So to kick off, Wanda and Vision have basically started living classic sitcom lifestyles. It's very weird. That's probably the thing that I would say first, is that it is unlike anything that the MCU has produced so far. It's very, very interesting. Now, I'm personally a huge television nerd. I absolutely love TV, and I love the history of television and movies and everything. So to watch them emulate old school sitcoms like Bewitched, and, basically Leave It to Beaver, all of these fun old classic sitcoms was awesome. It was awesome to watch, even down to the aspect ratio, where television before high definition was in 4:3, so it was a little bit more of a box. And it's when you see like television, like old clips, and they have those banners on the side, whether it's the the TV logo, or like the channel that you're watching, those logos on the side, or even just it's faded and blurry. I love that, and it just holds true to the format. It's absolutely fantastic, and it leaves these mystery elements that kind of pop up throughout the first 2 episodes to really pop. I think that the show is absolutely full of Easter eggs. Whether you're a fan of the comics or a fan of the MCU, there's a lot of stuff that's really woven in there and really densely packed, where you kind of have to watch it a couple of times to kind of catch everything. Some of the stuff, it kind of makes you think, and it's really funny. One of the things that happens in the first few minutes of the episode, and we've seen it in the trailer, is a dish comes flying and hits Vision in the head, and it breaks. And Wanda says to him, "Oh, my husband with the indestructible head." And we all know that that's false, right? Because the last time we saw Vision, he was murdered by Thanos by having his skull crushed. And so it's really interesting how they kind of take that tongue-in-cheek approach. It becomes very obvious very early on that something is amiss. There are a few very odd moments that take place and break the reality of this sitcom. The husband of Vision's boss, choking on a piece of food during dinner, and everybody just kind of having an unsettling break from reality where it's not fun anymore. It doesn't feel like it has the levity that the sitcom has. Or when the party planning commissioner cuts her hand and she's bleeding. Not only is it jarring because everything's in black and white and the blood's red, but it's very jarring that she starts freaking out, and it breaks the continuity of this old school sitcom. Now, I think that they do a great job making these old school sitcoms, which I've seen a lot of people online be, indifferent about. They don't think that it's as charming as other sitcoms normally are, and it's a little off-putting because it's supposed to be a superhero tale. To that, I would say you need to kind of be a little patient, right? In the binge society that we're in, the mystery is unraveling week to week. And it's going to be very interesting because all of the promotional material, all of the trailers, and everything that's come along with WandaVision so far has been very, very interesting. Because if you watch the first 2 episodes, you would see that they have all of the promotional material in them. About 90% of all of the trailers have everything that has been in the first 2 episodes, which I find to be so interesting, because that means that in these next 6 episodes, all right? Yeah, 6 episodes, I think, 6 or 7. We're going to have interesting and new things, and we're going to take twists and turns, and I think that it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, is it watchable if you are new to the MCU? I would suggest that if you already have Disney Plus, because you're going to watch WandaVision, you owe it to yourself to get caught up, right? Because you're going to need to know who these characters are and who they are in relation to each other and what's going on in the MCU world. So, while you don't have to watch all of the films, watching each one of the Avengers movies would get you caught up enough, right? That'll get you caught up with who Wanda is, who Vision is, how their stories intersected to this point. Something else to think about is that Marvel Legends has been released on Disney Plus, and the first 2 entries, they're about 7 minutes each, tell the story of both Wanda and Vision up until this point. So it's a really great jumping off point. But if this is your first piece of Marvel content, I would skip it, right? Because you need to kind of know what's going on and into the world, as I do think that this is very heavy on phase 4. There is stuff with, and I'm going to now move a little bit more into spoiler territory. So if you haven't watched it, definitely go and check it out. If you have caught up on the MCU and you're kind of on the fence, want to hear what people have to say about it, I highly recommend it. Definitely check it out. But now I'm going to move into a little bit more spoiler territory. So now I don't have any of the answers because obviously we're only 2 episodes in. But one of the logos that we keep seeing throughout is the SWORD logo. Now, SWORD is the counterpart to S.H.I.E.L.D., right? The agency that Nick Fury ran down on Earth. And SWORD in the comic books is very, very much involved in outer space. It's the S.H.I.E.L.D. of outer space, if you will. And so having Nick Fury at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home be on that spaceship and telling everybody to get back to work and all that fun stuff really lends itself to the organization and their involvement in this series. Now, who knows exactly what that is, but it's going to be very interesting to see how influential SWORD will be. And if you know anything about the comic books, SWORD is involved with the X-Men mostly, right? That's where they were designed, and they kind of interact with them the most, which is very interesting because I thought going into this show, this is how we get the X-Men into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is through WandaVision. And so far, I would say Marvel has done a great job of keeping this show under wraps. They do a great job of keeping all of their shows under wraps, and their twists and their turns all really tight to the vest and really kind of pay off in the end. So I'm really excited to see where that goes. Also, the breaks in reality, you can't tell whether or not Wanda is in charge or somebody else. We hear a voice on the radio that says, "Wanda, who's doing this to you?" And it might be Wanda. So I'm really excited to see where this show goes. I really, really enjoy it. I want to hear from you. If you have watched the first 2 episodes, please leave a comment down below so I can hear what you have to say. I've been The Eddie McCabe. You can follow me on all forms of social media at The Eddie McCabe on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm all there. So leave a like, comment, share. Please do all the great things. Thank you very much, and I'll see you real soon.